How's it going, everyone? I am here to talk about your favorite video game publisher of all time. The publisher that can do no wrong. I am, of course, talking about Ubisoft. I know you guys love Ubisoft. No, but seriously, Ubisoft earlier this year actually published a game that I really enjoyed in Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I thought the promotion of that game was handled terribly, and I thought there was a lot of other very questionable aspects of the release of the game. However, the game itself, I thought, was fantastic. As an action Metroidvania, I thought it was really well done. Stylish visuals, great gameplay, interesting puzzles, story was pretty decent. And now we have heard, as noted by Wario64 on Twitter, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown team reportedly disbanded by Ubisoft. The game did not reach sales expectations. A sequel was proposed, but did not get greenlit. Absolutely unfortunate for a wide variety of reasons. Now, this is a game that I feel like there were a lot of issues attached to it. First of all, Prince of Persia as an IP is in a very tough spot right now after everything that went down with the Sands of Time remake, where I think there's just a lot of uncertainty with the franchise. And then when the Sands of Time remake didn't come out, which people were incredibly excited about, all of a sudden to Ubisoft pivoting to revealing this Metroidvania action title with what I legitimately think is one of the worst debut trailers for a game of all time. I'm not kidding you guys. I think that reveal trailer, maybe the Concord trailer was worse, but Prince of Persia is an IP with history attached to it. To do that IP, to release a trailer like that, almost pivoting from what Prince of Persia was, it already was incredibly jarring, on top of Sands of Time remake being in flux, being postponed, whatever you want to call it. It's still in development, but it seems like it's getting delayed over and over again. That trailer was effing terrible. I cannot quantify how awful that trailer was. And again, you guys, first impressions are so important. How you debut a game like this is so important, especially when it was done at the event like Summer Game Fest, I believe it was last year. That just already left a sour taste in people's mouths on how they should perceive this game, compounding with Sands of Time being in flux. It just seemed like a bait and switch, like, hey, you were supposed to get the Sands of Time remake, but no, now we're doing Lost Crown. Then the promotion leading up to the game, I don't think was amazing, but whatever. I actually think it was released at a quality time in early January or mid-January, where there's not a lot of other big games coming out, but then they decided to shoot themselves right in the foot by not releasing this game on Steam. That is a huge problem, you guys. A game like this is gonna resonate with a PC audience to a certain extent. The PC audience, I think, is just a audience that plays a lot of games. No, it's Ubisoft Connect exclusive. Who the hell is gonna go to Ubisoft Connect to pay $50 to play Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown? That price point is something we'll get to as well. I get it that they wanted you to sign up for their subscription service, but why are you shooting yourself in the foot right away? Prince of Persia is an IP that desperately needs to be rehabbed. It's not an IP that's popping off and is all of a sudden ready to have a shift in its gameplay design and people are still going to inherently be interested in it. That's not where Prince of Persia is at. Prince of Persia is not going to be a drawing card for Ubisoft Connect. What are we doing? We need to do something that cultivates goodwill with this IP, that gets people interested in it after we just already dropped an abomination of a debut trailer. What they should have done is dropped it on Steam without any sort of account linking being necessary, without any sort of Ubisoft connectivity, because this is one that would have benefited from a native release. Would that have been the difference maker? No, but it's all of these things coming together. And then there was the $50 price tag, which I do think was an issue. I think if Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown had a quality trailer right off the top, if it didn't have the Sands of Time thing attached to it, which that was going to be unavoidable, so I get it from that standpoint. That game's just in development disarray, it seems like. That wasn't something you were going to overcome, but if there were factors within your control, if the trailer wasn't an abomination, the debut trailer, because that debut trailer being an abomination was such a big problem because you were coming off the heels of Sands of Time remake being in flux, that you really needed to drop a trailer that was going to captivate people and get people interested. That's what a trailer should always do regardless, but doubly so for Lost Crown, since you were battling against the wave of uncertainty around the franchise in regards to the Sands of Time remake. What do? You crapped all over that opportunity. Okay, now we're releasing this game as a Ubisoft Connect exclusive on PC, and it's $50. Just a marriage of so many factors that did this game dirty. And I don't know who greenlit the trailer, I don't know who greenlit the price point, but that's something, those are aspects that you're just not in tune with your consumer base. You're just not in tune with the people that are actually interested in a game like this. Ubisoft Connect exclusivity for Prince of Persia Metroidvania $50 game. It's already an expensive title, and you're adding a barrier for people to check it out. The development studio, I don't think, like, they're just trying to make a good game. Are they greenlighting how the trailer is gonna turn out? I don't know. But whoever's involved in that decision making, like, what are you doing? They just got done dirty, and that's after, again, they created a high-quality game. I was talking about it earlier this year, and guys, guess what? I got a pre-release copy of this game from Ubisoft. I'm gonna say it how it is. Ubisoft did a terrible job of promoting this game, but the game itself was really good, and I had a great time with it. It was like, it's not gonna be in my contender for Game of the Year. It's probably not even in the Tier 2 category, probably within the Tier 3 realm, but it was a damn good game. I would just question that $50 price tag. That was my main concern with this game going into its release, and coming out of it, that's still one of my main concerns with that $50 price tag. I just feel like was a little bit too high. It's such a shame that we're not going to get a sequel, because I think they laid the foundation for something really great to build upon. There were a lot of cool gameplay mechanics. The boss fights were challenging and stylish as all hell, and there was some DLC release for the game, but ultimately it looks like we won't be getting a sequel, and the team has been reportedly disbanded. Another element of Ubisoft just being in complete disarray, with this game not meeting sales expectations, Star Wars Outlaws not meeting sales expectations, Assassin's Creed Shadows getting delayed. There's a lot of things going on at Ubisoft that just aren't the best in terms of developing some sort of faith in them as a publisher. I mean, a lot of you guys have lost faith in Ubisoft for a very, very long time, and it is going to take a long time for them to rebuild the trust and the goodwill that they had with their consumer. That there was a time back in the late 2000s, early 2010s that they cultivated, and they had a lot of trust and goodwill with their audience. That has been completely crapped all over. That is completely dead and buried at this point, and they have to resurrect it. They have to revive it and rebuild that goodwill and trust, and that might take years and years, and that's not something that's just going to be done with Assassin's Creed Shadows getting delayed. Sure, that game getting a Steam release right out the gate, that'll be beneficial. You're doing things to start taking baby steps to rebuilding trust. What you should do is remove Uplay entirely, have that game natively released on PC. What you should do is, you know, forego on the season pass, which you did. But at the end of the day, Shadows is already what Shadows is. There's only so much you could do in a couple of months. You could rebuild, you could, you know, clear up some of the bugs and issues with the game and restructure some of the release plans with the game. But in terms of their actual game output, that's going to take years and years, because development cycles are just so long that you're going to have to drop quality game after quality game to try to rebuild that trust. Is it possible? Absolutely. I absolutely think it's possible in gaming. More than a lot of other industries, is very much a what have you done for me lately kind of industry. If we were in a world where Dragon Age Veilguard was hotly anticipated even after the lackluster successes of BioWare's other titles, and Veilguard turned out really well, I really think a lot of people would just be like, oh my god, BioWare is back. Now, you have these other factors with that game that you do have to battle, but if the game still turns out to be really good, I do think there's gonna be a healthy amount of people being like, oh my god, BioWare is back, because gaming is a what have you done for me lately kind of industry. But I don't think Veilguard is gonna turn out very well, in terms of, you know, what BioWare was. Could it be an okay game? Sure, but I have my expectations in line for that. But again, this is still true for BioWare. Even if Veilguard is completely crap, if they put out some sort of statement being like, alright, we're gonna completely restructure, and then in like 2028, they drop the next Mass Effect, and that turns out to finally be really good, I think people would still be like, oh my god, BioWare is back. But every time you inch further away from what the consumer wants, that trust and that idea, that perception is harder and harder to rebuild. It's always possible, just take some time. In the case of Ubisoft, they've been crapping all over the consumer for years and years, and they've been doing a lot of misfires that I do think it's going to take a little bit of time, to say the least, to rebuild that trust, but I still think it's possible. That's gonna do it for me. Unfortunate news at the end of the day. Again, Lost Crown I thought was a really, really well done game. I just really enjoyed it as an action Metroidvania. Great visuals. The soundtrack in the game I thought was really good. Just a lot of good stuff with the game. And if you find it on sale, I think you can get it for like 25, 30 bucks these days. Black Friday, I imagine it would be super discounted. Maybe in that $19.99 range would be a worthwhile pickup at that point. That's gonna do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.